Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Taking a quick look here at Chainlink. We're going to see if it's still worth keeping our short position open, which, mind you, we did take some nice little profits here this morning for that trade. So we took a little 15% in 10 hours. That was roughly at 4 a.m. when we were sleeping, so nothing better than an automated bot taking profits for you. Awesome stuff there. Congrats on that, as well as Solana, 60% in 7 days, DOT, 17% in 16 hours, and then, of course, Bitcoin, good 61% in 7 days as well. So nice little trades are open for us for our swing trade community. What we want to talk about, though, is with Chainlink, a few key factors here, such as liquidation, because we were looking at this yesterday and it was starting to pile up. And just want to kind of see roughly where we're at there. So this is the last 7 days of look back, and if we take a quick peek here, we can see there's still a healthy amount of liquidation. Not a lot has been swept to that lower level. So we just kind of pivoted and bounced off that essential double bottom at $18, okay? So, you could say that double bottoms have a tendency of shooting up, but I think the bear flag breakdown has a lot more to do with it. There's a lot more bearish divergences still in this coin. That leads me to believe the $17.5 to $18 range will probably be tested again. So just a friendly advice to be careful taking a long position with this coin right now, especially with Bitcoin kind of on the edge of disaster. If Bitcoin pulls back pretty well to 46, 45K, which I think is somewhat of an inevitability with that 45 to 45,500 mark being somewhat of a support level for Bitcoin, we could very well see that happen here for Chainlink to low 17, upper $16 range. Okay. Either way, there is liquidation up at the $20 range too, so keep in mind that could get swept, but we're more likely to sweep this lower level than the higher level because we're retesting that level. Again, the more often you test a support or resistance, the more likely it is to break. Okay, and we saw this almost perfect candle wick all the way down there to $17.95 or just round number $18. Okay, all the more reason why we had our profit targets right there, just above that recent wick, just because that's an important thing to note when you are taking profits, to use key fib levels as well as previous support and resistances. And not to set it right at the exact level, just above is perfect. Okay. I'll explain what I mean by that here in a minute. So daily time frame, let's quickly look at this here as well. Big picture, there is an Elliott Wave scenario here playing out as well in the larger time frame. So I don't know if we'll necessarily see $15, but that would be a worst case scenario if the price continues lower to establish, again, lower lows and lower highs here to fulfill that. This is, again, a very macro scenario, hypothetical at the very least for the moment. ABC patterns don't always happen after you hit your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they're more likely to occur. That's really the bottom line. Okay. So daily time frame. Let's quickly look at this here. Let's go ahead and disable a few of these guys here. There is some lower liquidity between 12 and 14. Just something to be aware of. Once more, that's kind of an egregious profit target, but could happen. More important, let's go ahead and take a look here. We can see traditional RSI coming back down, stochastic swinging down, and money flow index is high. These are still positive signs. Okay. I don't want you to think that the macro on Chainlink is terrible, because it's actually very good. The truth is, we have a lot more bearish divergences on smaller time frames, and those add up to larger time frame bearish divergences. Okay, but for right now, MACD still holding in there, it's trying to diverge but hasn't yet. Stochastic swinging down. There's a lot of things kind of letting us know the price is slowly pulling back, but all the moving averages are below the price action, so we, in truth, have a decent amount of support still if the price continues lower. Once more, 1650 for that moving average there for now, the 20-day SMA. So, that's generally a trend setter. You can almost always set a trend line with the moving average and get a kind of perspective on where things are going to go. All right, so that's generally speaking a positive sign. So big picture, daily time frame is not terrible for Chainlink. I don't want you to get that twisted. It's still looking pretty decent. But with that stochastic swing down to the downside here, we start looking at the 4-hour time frame. We can see we're still swinging down as well with the MACD. We are converging a little bit here on stochastic, of course, but we're still right there at 50 and or below 50. It's kind of averaging above and below. That in combination with the RSI and the money flow index kind of being right there smack dab in the middle, that's not really a bullish or bearish situation at all. It's not necessarily a scenario that we're like, okay, the price is going to drop hard because of this. But we got to be mindful that with us, we keep retesting this, $18, $10, $18 even range. More likely than not, we're more likely to break down than up, just because of that. Okay, and if we do lose this level here at about 1750, which is somewhat of a potential support, we could very well see the price continue to run. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Above and beyond that as well, we are rejecting out at the 50-day SMA here now so far. And now that we've broken below this this bearish type of bear flag pattern. Okay, so again, what happens? The price comes down, works itself into a little bit of a wedge, and then continues lower after it breaks that channel. So now that it's officially broken that channel, we can summarize that this area here could very well be a new resistance for us. So we can kind of extend that out and pay attention to it. Okay. So just know it's not an exact science, but it's certainly looking like it wants to reject off that level, which it has so far. See again, I see this clear, breaks through, comes up to retest, comes back down. Granted, that is a 0.382 fib level at 1850. So we can kind of summarize that 1850 as a rough estimate is the new resistance level for us on this coin. We can close above 1850, we may be able to invalidate this, this descending trend. But for the moment, we're still not in good shape, because if you look at this here, bigger picture, we are making lower lows and lower highs. We haven't retested it for a third time yet, but it certainly is still establishing lower highs. Furthermore, as well, if we take a look at some of the moving averages, we can kind of see, or more important, the traditional RSI money flow index is all pretty low in the hourly time frame. We're generally staying under that 50 mark. Okay? And then of course you take a look at the moving averages on the price action here on the hourly, and you can see that we're all kind of hanging out right smack dab in the middle of most of them. Never a great sign when you're kind of averaging yourself out below 2 or more moving averages. Okay. Very last thing, of course, this is kind of the catalyst here, or the trump card for me, is just to be below the cloud, right? See, again, this kind of reaffirms that 0.5 fib level at 1862, but also confirms 1850 as both scenarios for resistance. In other words, the price comes up into this level, could still reject out. Honestly, until the price can close above this descending trend, somewhere in this range here, or over here at the very least, I would say 1840 or higher within the next 24 to 48 hours, we have no real legs to stand on at this point. More likelihood for the price action to break down than go up. Okay, so again, that's kind of where we're at. Our macro is still fairly bullish. 4-hour time frames in this transition right now, trying to figure out if it wants to be bearish or not. And the hourly is pretty much confirmed still bearish here based on this, this trend line, and of course establishing lower lows and lower highs. So you tell me, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen next? I think we're going to see a breakdown and a retest of sub $18 here in the relative near future. That's just my personal opinion. So if you got your swing trade open for our Chainlink, I would say keep it open, of course. Obviously, you should have taken profit where it was recommended, just to ensure that the price pulls back. We can close our trade at break even. But our break even, I think, is 1846, which is right here, just above where these candle wicks tried to come in here. So had you moved your stop loss to break even, you'd still have the trade open, and that's okay. If it comes up and stops you out, you still walk away with profit, folks. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to consider re-entry, go ahead. It does seem like it's fairly confirming bearish qualities here, but once more, weekend, it's kind of a funky weekend for altcoins. So just bear in mind there's some uniqueness in the market. But my personal opinion is if Bitcoin does retrace at least a little bit, I think Chainlink will continue with that. And it'll probably be a 2 to 3x with Bitcoin. So just some friendly advice, be careful taking along with this coin. I think you are statistically more probable to hit profits if you go down than up with this coin at this moment. Just again, how things are looking. If you want to have some good options for this coin and others, of course, make sure you check out Bitget, phenomenal exchange. We're partnered with them because they offer no KYC or VPN requirements. Link down below. $5,500 in benefit rewards await if you use my link to register. They also have trading competitions, and over 200 trading pairs are adding to the exchange later this month. So awesome stuff on the horizon. Be sure to get prepared and ready for that. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, though. Thank you again so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.